A number of high-profile figures were named in the phase of Jeffrey Epstein files. Several star-studded names were mentioned in the files which were released by the US government, which was said to be underwhelming to many. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein was found to be a child sex offender, abusing underage girls while providing them to others through his sex trafficking rings in both Florida and New York. Following his death while in custody back in 2019, members of the public have been curious about what the businessman actually did and if any celebrities were involved in his illegal activities. Epstein had committed suicide before facing charges in court, with Donald Trump promising to release the Epstein list while he is in office. This week, US Attorney General Pam Bondi released the first batch of Epstein files, while also accusing the FBI of hiding thousands of more pages. Interesting. After releasing the files on Thursday, the 27th of February, Bondi stated, "This Department of Justice is following through on President Trump's commitment to transparency and lifting the veil on the disgusting actions of Epstein and his co-conspirators." The first phase of files released today sheds light on Epstein's extensive network and begins to provide the public with long overdue accountability. The documents are the first publicly released files related to the businessman and his sexual exploitation of over 250 underage girls. Jesus Christ. Ultimately, nothing new was revealed among the 200 or so pages across 10 different files released. A series of flight logs from the sex offender's private jet was a part of this, as well as a partly redacted contacts list. The contacts book is not a client list, and no one in it has been accused of any wrongdoing, and while people on the list were named, their addresses and contact information were redacted. So here's every big name that was mentioned by the Department of Justice. Mick Jagger, Alec Baldwin, Jesus Christ, this guy can't get away from controversy, can he? Michael Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, Ralph Fiennes, who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter series, Naomi Campbell, Bob Weinstein, Liz Hurley. Other political figures and big names were also listed in Epstein's contacts book. Afro Kennedy, mother of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., late Senator Ted Kennedy, Kerry Kennedy, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Courtney Love, David Koch, Alan Dershowitz, John Kerry, John Huntsman. Donald Trump's name was not in the contact list. The majority of his names has previously been reported in previous lawsuits and document leaks to do with Epstein's case. A redacted list of 254 pursuers were also released by the Department of Justice, though their names were blacked out, likely because they were Epstein's victims. Meanwhile, Bondi has accused the FBI of withholding extra documents from her. She wrote in a public letter, "I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein." Again, it's worth noting that just because these names were in his contact book does not mean that they were doing any of the sick shit that he was doing, he being Jeffrey Epstein, or were associated in any way with some of the activities, with some of the sick shit that he was doing. In terms of the sex trafficking stuff that he was doing. But I'd like to know from you guys, what do you think of this list? Were any of these names that were listed as contacts surprising to you, or were you really not so surprised in terms of some of these names that were listed on the contact list? At the end of the day, we don't really know the involvement of Epstein and these people's relationships with one another. We just know that they were in his contact list for whatever reason, and that's about it. It could be completely harmless, it could be completely innocent, or it could be some completely worse. We don't know. I'm very curious to know what you guys think of this, so let me know your feelings down below in the comment section below. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.